Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, Exportation, however the flip you know me on these interwebs. And today I am bringing you guys another PrizePicks video just like yesterday and the day before. As you guys can see on the screen, bop, 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 bop. Well, just one pick today with all the rounded up slips. I've won a lot. As you guys can see, I had 9 wins yesterday, which is pretty good for PrizePicks. Most times people don't win anything, even with two-man. So having 9 slips hit was really good. I had 3 slips hit in the match, as you guys can see here. And yeah, had a really good day of PrizePicks. Friday was also really good. You guys saw from the video before, I won a ton on Friday. Couldn't really fit everything on the screen, but I tried. So yeah, I've been winning a lot. I'm pretty good at what I do. No arrogance at all. I've been doing this for 7 years, and I just never got attention, but I was always hitting. So I was like, damn, as soon as people start like seeing what I'm doing, it's gonna go crazy because I do really well in COD. I've always done really well in COD, and yeah, I was just waiting for people to really kind of see what I was doing. But anyways, let's get right into it. Thanks for everybody who's joined the Discord. We had about 40 to 50 people join the Discord in the last 2 to 3 days. So I really appreciate all the support and all the love. It's been absolutely amazing and overwhelming. Just a lot of people trying to get in contact with me now, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so looking at it, I did actually make an improvement on yesterday's video. So one of the things that I noticed was one of my holes in my game. To keep things like 100% honest with you guys, I'm hitting about 60% or so, which is way better than most people on PrizePicks and even the guys who sell their picks. I joined one of the Discords where a guy sells his picks just to siphon people out of it, if I'm being honest, like for my own server. And people have been coming to my server because of it, because I've been winning so much, and I win more than that guy in his own server. So the mods, like, they hate me now. And they make fun of me for being an analyst because I've been winning more than the guy who owns the server and charges like $10 a month or $10 a week for access. I mean, I've made money from his server, but it took literally like 5 days. Like, he's terrible. So, yeah, enough of that. I give away free picks, so I'll never do that shit. So, Hardpoint Map 1, I'm expecting it to be a Hacienda ban from Vegas and a Skyline ban from Rokkr. The reason I'm expecting a Hacienda ban is Vegas has banned it 6 times, and also Rokkr, they like to pick it. They picked it 3 times, and they're 2-2 on it. Vegas conversely is 0-1, and they vetoed it 6 times. Figured, pretty expected ban. And Vegas, they don't really have a strong fighting chance in this series, so it's like whatever. And I'm expecting a Skyline ban from Rokkr, because similarly, they are 2-5 on it. Vegas is 0-7, but Vegas clearly like to play it a lot. They picked it 3 times, and they have never banned it. So conversely, on the Rokkr side, they obviously have banned it 6 times out of the 15 series that they've had. And yeah, they don't like that map. So that's why I'm expecting that to come through. Falcons have gotten a lot of reps on it, and why give them a map they're pretty experienced on, and they've had some like success on, come close to winning. So I'm expecting Protocol map 1 for that reason, and a Vault map 4, assuming that Vegas are of course given Team A, as they should be. Obviously, looking at the records, it's 2-5 for the Minnesota Rokkr versus 0-3 for Vegas Falcons. I don't expect that donut to change to a breadstick today for Falcons. I just think that Rokkr is, they're really good right now. They just beat Optic last week, and yeah, they've looked pretty solid. So I feel like Rokkr chained that momentum, and I think they have a 2-0 weekend. Yeah, so I think that's how they get it done. Yeah, so I'm thinking that the Vault map 4 comes through for obvious reasons. Obviously, Falcons have gotten a lot of reps on it. They like playing Vault, as you guys can see. But conversely, Minnesota are 6-0, so that's a pretty easy thing to assume. And yeah, they're taking Team B, so they wouldn't get map 1 anyways, unless they just, like, flip the script and take Team A. But they love taking Team B. I believe they've taken it, like, 40% of the time, somewhere in there. So they clearly prefer to take Team B if they can. So let's move on to the map 2s. Expecting an S&D Hacienda ban from Vegas and a red card ban from Miami. Oh, Lord, I did not edit that. Red card ban from Rokkr. I thought I did Control F to replace all the similarities with the names, but yeah, so I'm thinking Hacienda gets banned for pretty obvious reasons. Falcons have banned it 7 times. It looks like it's their auto veto. And then on the Minnesota side, I'm expecting a red card ban to come through because it's a 50-50 between protocol and of course red card for them. But when you look at the Vegas Falcons, they're 0-3 on protocol, and Minnesota are 0-4. Whereas on red card, the Vegas Falcons are 1-0. Clearly, that's a map that they are pretty good at, and the Minnesota Rokkr are conversely 1-3. I don't think they want to give them a clear dub on one of their worst maps. Even though Protocol is also one of Minnesota's worst maps, it's also one of Falcons' worst maps. So that's why I think that that gets through and red card gets banned. So I'm expecting a Vault Map 2 and a Protocol Map 5 because, as you guys can see, Falcons have picked Vault. I'm sorry, Rokkr picked Vault 7 times. They're currently 5-1 on it, and they're Team B. Team B always gets to pick the S&D Map 2. And then for Map 5, as you guys can see, Falcons are 0-3 on it, and Minnesota are 0-4. So if by the grace of God it gets to a Game 5, it'll be a bang out. So looking at the Map 3s, as you guys can see based on the vetoes, Team B always gets to pick Map 3. Team A gets 1 veto in the controls. And I'm expecting I'm expecting them to veto Volt because obviously Minnesota's 5-2. That's their best control. And if they can get a Hacienda in there, they have a decent chance. So I think that honestly Vegas will clearly ban Volt, and that's why I'm saying, well, no, they might leave it in. I think Vegas would probably ban, at this point, Protocol, because that's their auto veto. I'm sorry. And I think that Minnesota likely just choose Vault, so that's why I have Vault as my likely pick. But I ran vetoes for both because, as you guys can see, run vetoes for both likely map 1s. Teams have been trolling. So I ran vetoes for likely map 1s and map 3s as well. And map 4s. So map 1 Protocol, as you guys can see, my pick is Dahum under, just because he's hitting for 100% here. I think it's a pretty small sample size. It might be like 2 matches, maybe 3. But I do think that because King is an SMG, and Dahum, I believe, is an SMG as well. Protocol is not typically a map that's super SMG favored, so I do think the under here is pretty relatively safe. Just because Falcons in control, if it's not Vault, they typically get farmed. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking that. And then on the Minnesota side, you guys can see all the stats for the overs and unders on Protocol. But I'm rocking with my boy Nero, aka the Emperor. Yeah, I mean 7-7 for the under. I mean, yeah, it looks like the under is pretty guaranteed for Nero. Damn near a lock. So I'm gonna rock with that one. Hopefully it hits. The stats definitely support Dahum and Nero for the under here. The correlation's pretty good. So looking at map 1, if it's Vault, that's the potential map 4 that I'm thinking, but it could also be a map 1. So Wixel is 75% hitting the over, so he's gone over 3 of 4 times. King is 1 for 1, he's 100%, but he's only had 1 rep on Vault so far. Exnid is 3 of 5 for the under. Dahum is 2 of 4 for the under, and he had 2 series where it was a push, so definitely stay away from Dahum. Rokkr, on the Rokkr side, Geo is 100% for the over. Estriel's 4 of 6 for the over. Paul is 50%, and Nero is, of course, 67% as well, like Estriel. So, map 1, if it's Vault, I would say Wixel x Geo. Map 2, I wouldn't play anything for map 2. It's very risky. Map 3, Celium x Real under, LOL. No, that's from yesterday. I templated this, so that's an error. But anyways, as you guys can obviously tell, this is map 3. So Vault, Dahum 3 for 5 over, King 2 for 4 over. I'm sorry, King 2 for 4, Exant 4 for 8, and Wixel 2 for 3 under. So if it goes to Vault, I'm favoring Wixel for the under just because typically he doesn't get a lot of kills. Dahum is very, very inconsistent and streaky, so I don't like the idea of him getting the kills at his line. I think Wixel's line is maybe 20 kills, so I would definitely take that under because he'll probably get like 10 to 12. He's usually good for about 11, 14, 16, 12, or somewhere in there. So yeah, I would take that. And then on the Rokkr side, for Volt, I would take Nero. He's 5 of 7 for the over. SMG's on Vault for the over. Pretty good idea usually, and you usually want to play through the strongest player in the mode to cash pretty consistently. So go to breaking point, whoever's at the top of the leaderboards. If you just feel like YOLOing a pick and not looking at my friend site where they have advanced stats for map 1 through 3s, single maps, the series, etc. I don't know why you wouldn't be using that instead. It's way faster. But if you want to do it the inefficient and kind of dumb way, be my guest. But I don't recommend that. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's the way to do it. But that's how the dumb degens do it, and those guys fucking lose a lot. That's why they're all coming to me. So anyways, looking at the next potential map being Protocol, I'm thinking the Exnid under is pretty safe here because you guys can see Dahum, Wixel, and King are all 1 for 1 on the Protocol map. It's Protocol control map mode combination, excuse me, and Exnid is 2 for 2. He has the most reps on it, and he's been getting tucked on it, so I'm going to rock with him. And then in the case of the Minnesota boys, Geo is the standout. He is 5-7 for the over, so he's hit the over 5 times out of 7, and that's why I'm going to take him. And then for the series, I'm going to say Nero over and Wixel under. Nero's over is, I believe, at 60 right now, and Wixel's is at, I believe, 49. So, yeah. I think Wixel under is pretty safe. Looking at my friend's site, it looked pretty free based on the maps. So what you do is you put in the maps that are either in the series or projected, like I did here with Wake. As you can see, this is how I came up with the series projection for the next series. But, spoiler, we're taking the under for Wake next series. But anyways, that's how I came up with Wixel and Nero. Wixel under was very strongly supported by the data, just like Wake, and Nero over was very strongly supported by the data. So Nero over was like over here, and then Wixel under was like over here somewhere. So just to explain how it works for you guys so you can interpret the data as needed on your own and you don't, oops, sorry, I just almost unplugged my headset base from my computer. My hands are just too active right now. So looking at the last series of the day, last series of the weekend, before we take a long break and come back on March 7th for Minor 1, where I will be returning with my famed co-host Dempsey for another collab. We're just coming together for this. We're going to branch out on other stuff, so COD's kind of but yeah. So we'll be back. We'll see how you guys like that. But yeah, looking at the map 1, I'm expecting to be a red card ban from Ultra for obvious reasons. They've been red card 9 times out of the 13 times they played. And on the other side, I'm expecting LA Thieves to go to their their bread and butter ban, which is protocol. And obviously, I'm expecting LA Thieves to take Team B. So they're the higher seeded team. Obviously, they're number 2 seed, and Toronto is, I think, 6, 5, something like that. So clearly, LA Thieves get pick of the choice. So they're going to take Team B. They typically like to take Team B. So the red card ban, to explain it to you guys just a little bit, is coming in because LA Thieves is 5-0 on red card, and Toronto is 1-1, and they banned it 9 times. They vetoed it 9 times. So clearly they don't like red card. They're not very comfortable on it. And similarly for the case of Protocol, Hardpoint, and the Thieves, they banned it 9 times, just like the Ultra banned red card 9 times. And they are 1-1 on it, similar to how Ultra is 1-1 on red card. So it's kind of funny how red card 5-0 for Thieves, and then Protocol 4-2 for Ultra. 9 bans on both sides for the map they don't favor, and a 1-1 record. It's comedy. So I think these vetoes should be pretty straightforward. I did run all the projections, so you guys are covered. Doesn't matter. Expect LA Thieves to pick Vault Map 1. Map 4 from Ultra will likely be Skyline. The reason why LA Thieves get to pick Map 1 is because LA Thieves get to pick Vault Map 1 because they're Team B. And usually Team B, like, it's assumed that it's going to be it's assumed that it's going to be the lower seeded team. In most cases, Team A is supposed to give you advantage, but yeah, most times, like, the higher seeded team just takes Team B because they want to get the control. So yeah, so map 1, I'm expecting that to be Volt. Map 4 will likely be Skyline coming in from Ultra. They are, of course, 5-2 on it, and of course they're 4-1 on it, and of course on the LAT side, they're 5-2. I don't see them choosing Volt that they're weak on, and I definitely don't see them choosing Protocol because I see it getting banned. And Hacienda is kind of a bang out, so maybe they choose Hacienda, but I definitely see Skyline being the more likely pick from Ultra because they have like more confidence on it, and they will have likely banned LA Thieves' best map as well. So yeah, looking at the map 2s, I'm thinking the LA Thieves ban Protocol. So let's look at why. They're 0-1. They banned it 6 times. And conversely, on the Toronto Ultra side, I'm thinking that they banned Hacienda because they're 1-3 on it. They haven't banned it as many times, but you guys can see the LA Thieves are 3-2 on it, and every other map that the LA Thieves had, they're not a good S&D team, as I've been saying all year long in my other videos, my analytical videos, pick'ems, and reviews of the week. So that's why I'm thinking that Hacienda gets banned, because that's really the LA Thieves' best looking S&D. It's a pretty obvious call if you're Toronto. You want to get rid of their strongest S&D map. Don't want to give them a free dub. So Hacienda ban from Ultra. Like I said before, Protocol ban from Thieves because they vetoed it 6 times, 0-1, and Ultra is 4-2, so why would you leave that in? Pause. And I think with that in mind, I think that the LA Thieves boys square up with Ultra on red card. That's really the strongest map that they have left if the vetoes go as they should, and if they're pretty logical and orderly. So this should be a bang out on red card for both teams. And then for the Game 5, I think it'll be Vault for the Toronto Ultra. If the LA Thieves don't ban Vault, and they ban their usual, which is, of course, Protocol, which is a pretty obvious ban, I think they would like to take the chance to square up on Vault and just not get there to begin with. I think they'd probably just try to end it on the Skyline if that does come through. So I'm not sure on map 3. I think it's likely a protocol veto from Ultra and a Hacienda pick from the Thieves. So as you guys can see, Ultra boys are currently 3-1 on protocol, but LA Thieves are 5-0. And after the recent update, like, it plays a lot more offensive, and LA Thieves are a more favored slang side. So I don't think that's really great for Ultra. So I see them banning it. Yeah, that's why I see Hacienda getting through. Ultra's clearly very good at Vault, but I mean they're 5-0 on protocol. Like that's pretty much a guaranteed win. Maybe they let it through, but if they don't ban it, then you're gonna have to play Hacienda. I'm sorry. If they don't ban it, I don't necessarily see the Thieves taking a Hacienda, even though Toronto's 0-3 on it. They would probably just bank on protocol because of the recent changes and the fact they're 5-0 on it. I don't know. But we'll see. I think the likely thing is that they pick Hacienda just because they're 5-2 and Ultra are 0-3. So they're going to say, hey, that's free. We're not good on Vault. And that was kind of my thought process there. So if you guys differ, obviously you can make your own calls. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So for map 1, if it's Vault, I'm thinking that Hydra's the best play just because he's 2-4 for the over. But Vault is a map that typically favors SMGs. And I do like Hydra on that map. He's been getting more kills recently, and he's been having a recent uptick in his form. So I feel like he's pretty good. Envoy is great, but he's 1-4 for the over, so the data does not support that. On the Ultra side, conversely, I think Kleenex is the best option here. He's been 4 of 7 for the over on Vault, and yeah, I've liked what I've seen from him recently. Apart from that one bad map he had on red card last week, he's been absolutely fire. So that's why I'm liking Kleenex here. And then in the next map, Skyline, if that does come through instead of the Vault for map 1, I'm thinking Scrap under is the play here. He's been under 5 of 7 times on Skyline. And then Kleenex has been over 4 or 5 times. So the data supports that one. I do think this series will be a bang out. So I'm going to take the overs for everything, if I'm being honest. I'm going to take the over for Skyline on Scrap if I can. I'm sorry, Skyline, yeah, on Scrap if I can. And then obviously Hydra and Kleenex for map 1 if it is Vault, because that's a pretty obvious play with SMGs. And then on Skyline, I mean, SMGs are a risky play here. They can do pretty well, but as you guys can see, Envoy and Ghosty are both 4 of 7 for the under. So your SMG duo is 3 of 7 and 4 of 7 for the under. So they typically go under. Hydra did push one time, so that's why his over and under is equivalent. Yeah, that's why I wasn't necessarily crazy about the Hydra pick. He has been playing a lot better, but I do favor Scrap because Scrap tends to get the most kills on LA Thieves pretty consistently, and same for Kleenex for the Ultra side. So that's why I'm picking that for the alternate if map 1 does include, if does end up being Skyline. For map 2, do not touch map 2. If you touch map 2 and you tell me that you touch map 2, I'm going to absolutely clown your shit, because why are you touching a map 2 when LA Thieves are so bad at S&D? Like, they're literally getting beat by Vegas Falcons 6-1, 6-2. If you bet on LA Thieves map 2, you're a degenerate and you need to call the fucking hotline, dude. I'm just going to say it right now. Like, seriously, stay away from this shit. I'm not going to give tips for this. So, the last map in the series, I'm thinking that's going to be a Vault. I think Hydra is the best play here for the LA Thieves. And I think Kleenex is the best play for the Toronto Ultra. As you guys can see, Kleenex has gone over 6 of 7 times, and Hydra has gone over 3 of 4 times. So, to me, if it ends up being Vault, that's a pretty clear one. If it ends up being a different map, I'll just calculate everything and give you guys a live call on Cord. So be sure to join the Discord down below. And for the series, I'm thinking Hydra over and Joe over. I think this series is just going to be a bang out between two teams that are evenly matched. There's a lot of storylines in this. Obviously, Envoy and Scrap came from, of course, the Toronto Ultra to the LA Thieves. And then on the other side, Joe Deceives came from the LA Thieves to Toronto Ultra. So there's been kind of an Ultra and LA Thieves transfusion of talent, if you will. There have been a few trades, no Luca. And yeah, I mean, the Scrap for Envoy shit was low-key a Luca type trade. I mean, Joe Deceives for Scrap and Envoy is actually wicked work. But anyways, let's get into the last series of the weekend. I think I said last one was the last series of the weekend. Cap. So this is the last series of the weekend. I'm expecting map 1 to be a Vault ban from C9. I think they're going to be Team A. And I think a Skyline ban from Breach comes through. Let's look at why. So the Vault ban from the New York boys, they've banned Vault 5 times. And then, of course, if you look at Boston's record, they're 5-1. New York is 1-3. I think that's pretty cut and dry for me and you. I think that's a pretty safe assumption to make. Skyline, in the case of Breach, excuse me, best map for New York, one of the worst maps for Boston. pretty clear cut, right? Skyline's been banned 4 times. I think there will be a 5th time today. I'm expecting a Hasi map 1, as you guys can see. Team A is favored on Hacienda, so is Team B. So I think it's a bang out square up. No matter who gets Team A or Team B, I think both of these teams will likely look to Hacienda to square off. And I think Hacienda comes through as map 1 regardless. Map 4, I think it's a red card, assuming that Cloud9's given Team A. I think Cloud9 will indeed pick red card, just because they picked it 4 times. Obviously, it'll be a bang out. Boston is 2 and 3 on it. New York is 1 and 3. But Protocol is not really a map that favors them right now, and Hacienda would likely already be map 1. They don't want to play Skyline because Cloud9 will Breach will probably ban that, right? So your only remaining choices at that point are Protocol and Red Card. So between those two, I think they probably square off on Red Card just because both like to pick it consistently, and it seems to be a map they're pretty comfortable on, and Skyline's gone. So pretty clear-cut call for me. Protocol 2 and 3 versus 1 and 2. I don't really know. So expect a Skyline ban from Breach and Red Card ban from C9 for, of course, the S&D. So let's look at why these two things are getting banned. So Skyline and Red Card. Why is Skyline getting banned? Well, let's look at the two teams' record. 1 and 3 versus Team A, 4 and 1. And yeah, that's their pick. So that's why I think it's a Skyline ban from Breach, because they are Team B. Team B gets the first ban in S&D, and Team A gets the second one. So that's why I think a red card ban comes through for the New York boys. They're 0-2, and Boston are 3-1. And then if you look at it, they've banned it 4 times. And in the case of Boston, they have banned Skyline just once, but I think it comes through a second time because of New York's form. They are so strong on it. I think it's one that they definitely want to avoid. So for that reason, I'm expecting a Protocol map 2 to come through for New York's pick. Of course, they're Team A. Team A usually picks map 2. And then map 5 is always picked by Team B. So that's why I'm expecting a Hasi map 5 to come through, because Boston is 3-2 and Hasi map fabs. S&D's Rewind is obviously gone. And yeah, that's their only strong remaining map left if Red Card gets banned by C9 like I'm expecting it to. So that's why I expect them to play Hacienda. They could play Vault, but yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to square off on Vault when they could just take a Hacienda and they have more reps on it, more wins. So, looking at the final control that we are looking at, I'm expecting Hacienda to come through for Breach's map pick, just because looking at it, obviously, we know that Breach would be Team B, and Team A is a team that gets the control veto, which is why I said most of the time the higher seeded team likes to take Team B, just because there's more advantages. Even though the sides are worse for the maps you really want to win and bank on, everything else is advantage to Team B. So you get the control pick, all types of stuff, right? You get the first S&D, you get the game 4. I mean, yeah, it's honestly favored to me. So I don't see why you would pick Team A if you have the choice, unless it's just that series specifically it favors you. But anyways, let's get into the map 3s. Why did Boston Breach pick Hacienda if that's what comes through later today? It would likely be just because they looked at the maps. They said, hey, they're 1-2 on Hacienda. We're 1-1 on it. We're 2-5 on Vault. They're probably going to ban Vault, right? Yeah, Vaults are most likely banned. They banned it 4 times. Obviously, Boston's not good on Protocol. They're 1-3, and there's no Vault. So Hacienda, to me, is the obvious choice just because their reps on Protocol have been less than desirable, while New York is conversely, 3-1 on the map. So, looking at the map 1 for Hacienda with the projections, I'm thinking that Kremp is a pretty safe choice here. He's 3 of 3 for the under. So if we get a Hacienda, Kremp under is a pretty safe bet. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet. But based on the series, I'm actually going to go rogue. And I'm going to actually take the overs. I'm taking the overs for everything today except for Vegas Falcons series, where I told you guys where I'm specifically taking unders. Just because I feel like LA Thieves versus Toronto, even though the unders are supported in a lot of those maps, I feel like the series itself contextually will be a bang out. And you always have to think about that. Like, contextually, is this going to be a bang out or not? And that's what's going to happen today. And then for red card, if we do get that as a map 1, I would take Kremp over. And any of these guys under is pretty safe. But I would take Snoopy over, just because I feel like today, no matter what maps come through, it's going to be a bang out. So if you feel ambitious for the S&D parlays, I don't know why you would. With today's matches, you have LA Thieves, who are absolute ass at S&D consistently. You have Vegas Falcons, who could be maybe good, maybe shit. And you have Rokkr, who will probably slam them. So maybe take a couple of singles, like maybe Paul X, Kremp, And like, I don't even know for the Toronto versus LA Thieves series. Like, that's a question mark of all question marks. Yeah, anyways, map 3, Hacienda. If it's Hacienda, I'm thinking Attach, Mac, Kremp, and Sib. They're all 2 for 3 with the under. Cammy, Wake, Persian, Snoopy are all 1 and 2 for the under. So I'm thinking just take anyone you like. Honestly, if it's a Hacienda control, I really like Mac or Kremp just because when they play through Dark and they play on the B, they get a lot of kills. So I'm going to say Kremp. I like my boy Kremp for this engagement here. And if it's Protocol, as you guys can see, Snoop and Cammy are 3 for 4 with the under, and Persian Wake are 4 for 4 with the under. So the stats definitely support you taking the under, but I feel like today, contextually, the series will just be an over series. But for Protocol, if we do get that, I would take Wake under, just 100%, because Wake, like, in control is just not getting kills. And then Kremp and Sib are 3 for 4 with the over, and Attach and Mac. Attach is 3 for 4 with the under, and Mac is 2 for 4 with the over. So I would definitely take Kremp here again. I really just like Kremp and the way he plays. He gets a lot of kills, and he's really good. So I typically back Kremp in most New York series just because Mac, while I love Mac, and I've always been a big fan of Mac, he can be very inconsistent, and that's always been true. So that's why I take Kremp. He's usually a pretty consistent SMG, and that guy just be shooting. I love watching him. So looking at the series call for the last one of the day, I'm thinking Sib under and Wake under for the series. That's a pretty safe one. As you guys can see, Wake under is very, very strong, ladies and gentlemen. 95% confidence interval that Wake's under will hit based on the site. So that's pretty safe. And then Sib, his under was around the same. It was about here, like here at this point. So, yeah, I mean, it's very high. So that's why I take those two as a safe play for the series. And then Snoopy and Kremp, they both were supported for the under, like 70%. But because contextually I think this is going to be a bang out series, I'm going to take them for the over, and I'm going to sweat this one. So yeah, guys, that'll about wrap it up for me. It's been a great weekend of PrizePicks. Hope you guys win some. Join the Discord if you want live calls. And yeah, that'll just about wrap it up for me. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. And I'll catch you on the next video. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, X Rotation, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.